There's been a lot of scandals. One that I stayed uncharacteristically silent about, and it was the Roseanne Barr scandal. This was not about Black America. This was about a positive Trump-supporting show, which the left couldn't stand because it was ratings galore. And that's the truth, and people don't like to admit the truth.
With that single inflammatory tweet, Roseanne's rising star imploded today. Within hours, the highly anticipated return of one of TV's most beloved shows, Roseanne, canceled, and Roseanne Barr effectively banished from Hollywood for this racist tweet. The Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ. The VJ referred to is Valerie Jarrett, the former advisor to President Obama. Barr deleted the tweet and tweeted an apology to Jarrett, saying in part, "Forgive me, my joke was in bad taste." Almost no one thought it was funny. Within hours, ABC pulled the plug on the show, saying Roseanne's Twitter statement is abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values, and we've decided to cancel her show.
You know, I was a little impaired. It was Memorial Day. I had a couple of beers and I took an Ambien. Never mix those.
Right.
So I woke up out of a dead sleep at 2 a.m. and I'm like, I've got it. I've got the words that are going to put the whole thing in perspective and save the world. And I sent that tweet. And now, since that time, which was June last year, it's been like, why did I put it that way? And I look at it like, I should have reversed it. And it was a total... impaired tweet, but it disguised what I meant. It all got a little jumbled up. But what was horrifying about it, to me, was the way that it was purposely mischaracterized, and I was not allowed to explain it or apologize. Well, I mean, I did apologize, but I was never allowed to say what it was actually about and what I meant.
Well, of course not. You're a conservative. That's not how it works. Conservatives don't get second chances. Conservatives don't get to apologize. Conservatives don't get to explain in a fuller form what they were talking about. You should know that. Those are the rules. And nobody knew that Valerie Jarrett was even 10% Black. Nobody knew that. Nobody thought she was Black. They just dug for something and said, "Ha, we've got her. We can get this show off. We don't want to normalize Trump supporters in any regard in the mainstream media."
Yeah, I found all that out after. They targeted me from day one.
Megyn Kelly, gone. Megyn Kelly didn't even say anything that was offensive. She said, when I was a kid growing up, people used to wear blackface and they weren't offended as long as you were truly going as the character. Her entire show is gone. Wiped. Gone. She's off of NBC. Her whole career, done, because she said something that wasn't even offensive. She's telling you about something that happened in the past. I mean, Why can't she talk about her experience with that in a non-offensive way? They made her apologize, which I staunchly disagreed with. I actually think conservatives should not apologize. I know,
that's what all my friends said to me. They go, "You shouldn't have apologized because that's a death knell to the left."
There was not a single Black person in America that was offended by what you said. It was the left using Black people as human shields to go after their political opponents and people that are mainstreaming conservatism. You were mainstreaming conservatism. You got attacked. In the exact same regard, I got attacked for a long conversation I was having about nationalism versus socialism versus globalism. And then they say, "I hate Jewish people." Me, who flew over for the embassy opening. I hate Jewish people. You hate Black people. And yet here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
It's amazing.
It's fun. You know, all the networks and all the news things, they're just part of the Democratic Party.
What is it? 90% of everything on TV is left leaning, or 85%.
But they're part of the Democratic Party. Yeah. They're an arm of the Democratic Party.
That's why I don't watch it. I don't turn on the TV because there's nothing there for me. It's almost like a mass brainwashing. And when your show came, it was just so refreshing. It's like families are being torn apart over something that means nothing at the end of the day. Conservatism versus liberalism. And then you have this show that humanizes it and uses laughter. And that's what, by the way, comedy is for. You're a comedian, last I checked, is to heal America through laughter. And the death of comedy and this and Kevin Hart and all of these scandals that are happening with everybody that makes a joke.
They're going to get all of us.
100%.
I think I'm just the first.
I think that the journalists, I call them like journal sadists. Like they enjoy bringing pain to people.
They do.
And inflicting pain, and it makes them feel really good about themselves and powerful about themselves. And we're in this weird era where we don't have journalists anymore. I mean,
we don't.
Few and far between. I've maybe seen one or two.
Well, we have people's journalists now. we have people who are doing, you know, the stories.
That's right.
People who are doing the research.
Right.
And then telling the stories. They're not parroting CIA talking points.
Right. And it's grateful that we have the internet in this way to get around. Otherwise, how many lives would they ruin?
Like you and me woke up, there's millions of us all across the world. And, you know, we got to be glad for that and say they're putting their lives on the line too.
Right.
I honestly did not think ABC would cancel the show. I thought that they would bide their time, put out some statements, pull the show from rotation.
Later today, Hulu and Viacom following suit, pulling past episodes of the comedy from their platforms. That included its first run in the 80s and 90s. Then her agency, ICM, dropping her, saying she violated our core values. It's a shocking end to the #1 show on TV, whose premiere in March grabbed 27 million pairs of eyeballs. A show that the network, the cast, and many Americans had so much hope for.
They didn't want the money.
No?
No, it doesn't make any sense. They killed the #1 show before one sponsor pulled out.
Wow. It was
And you know their
before
first
one
phone
sponsor
call
pulled out.
before one sponsor. They killed it in 40 minutes. And you know who their first phone call was to?
Who?
Brace yourself. Miss Jarrett.
No
The
way.
president of ABC said his first call was to Miss Jarrett to apologize to her. And then I was gone. It's more important to me for my good name and what I fought for my whole life than to even this show. So I signed it. And they go, everybody's going to love you because you gave up the money, you know, so everybody can keep their job. We're going to thank you, blah, blah. Next day, Roseanne's a racist from ABC. And Sarah Gilbert and Michael Fishman and
they
Wanda
turned on
Sykes
you.
and Sandra Bernhardt and Kathy Griffin and all of them.
She's a clown show.
Listen, I'm going to say one thing. When I went to bat for Sandra, Kathy, and Sarah to get them on TV, because I gave them all their TV jobs, every network that I had, Kathy was on Fox, I had Sarah on ABC and Sandra on ABC. You know what the people at the networks told me? Those girls are too ugly to go on TV. And I said, this is so incredibly sexist. Look at me. I'm no beauty. You can't take talent and for a woman and reduce it to her facial flaws. Are you me? And nowadays I'm like, God, they were right.
Yeah.
They are too ugly. The ugliness inside, like Sandra Bernhardt sat in my mother's house for Shabbat and then made fun of me for being, an abused, having lived through child abuse. I mean, they just have no decency.
No soul.
No.
I think Hollywood is soulless. I really do
I do
believe
too.
that.
Well, I know what they really are about. And, one of these days I'm going to tell on.
A show made for this moment. Roseanne's TV family, the Connors, just like any family, complicated, funny, and politically diverse. On the liberal left side of the family tree, Roseanne's sister, Jackie.
What's up, deplorable?
And on the conservative side, it was Dan and Roseanne, the politically incorrect heads of the family.
Thank you for making America great again.
Their roles resonated with middle America, with some of the highest numbers of viewers in cities like Tulsa, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh.
And my one daughter, she'll be very angry at me, but she's really liberal. And when Trump won, she started crying. I'm not kidding. Tears were running down her cheeks. And this is what she said. He's going to deport all the gays. That's what she said. I swear to God.
So your show actually was
Yeah,
pretty...
it's my family.
Oh, my
And she's
goodness.
like, oh, mother, of course she's a conspiracy theories and all that. It's always like that.
Right.
And tonight, Roseanne apologizing to the show's cast and crew, but it would be too late. ABC is replacing Roseanne with The Middle in the Tuesday 8 p.m. slot. The message is clear, even for network TV comedy icons. There is a line.
I felt when I sat down and critically that they were trying to create drama between the Jewish community and the black community.
Yeah.
You say the Jewish community, you can't see the people that are Blexiting, you stay away from them because
Yeah.
they hate Jews. And
Right.
what a crazy, absurd concept.
Right.
But a necessary
been
one
that
that
way.
they want to create.
They've wanted to. I've been in activists since the 60s. I've seen it from beginning to now. I've seen it all the way through. I've been there the whole time, and they definitely tried to put a wedge. I remember I used to be in a women's collective in the 70s, 60s and 70s in Denver, and we were Jewish women, women of color. We had a lot of white women too. We started to see the factioning that came along, and it factioned first between blacks and Jews, and it was because of Angela Davis. I was there when she said Zionism is racism. That was the cudgel that broke us.
Interesting.
And it was on purpose. It was with foreign money to create a divide in this country so that we can't stick together and make sure that our children are taken care of.
That's right. And they think that if the minority community comes together,
Right.
I mean, they know if the minority community comes together, it's over for them. It spells the end for the left, because
It does.
We are the slaves. I mean, we are
That's
the
right.
ones that are mentally enslaved. We are the ones that keep buying into the same narrative and getting no results, and it's actually negatively impacting our communities.
Well,
And
we're
if
the ones that are targeted.
right.
And so, when they broke the blacks and the Jews apart, what happened, I've seen, this is me saying it, black people's public schools and living conditions and their safety net became less and less. And so did the Jews.
She asked me at one point, do you think that white supremacy exists? And I said, the closest thing I've ever seen to it in my life is the radicalized feminist movement.
I can agree.
The closest thing to white supremacy that I've seen in my lifetime has been this radicalized Lena Dunham types going around saying, we want this now, whatever we say happens. Do you remember this scandal with Lena Dunham, like saying that some black guy didn't say hi to her at the Met Gala and she was victimized? I mean, I've been paying attention to the growth. Kesha in the back of a courtroom crying, just believe her. The believe women thing has been building up, and I've been like, this is getting crazy.
It is crazy.
And women have to be the one to take it down. It's like up to us to say something about it.
Well, I said it yesterday. I'll tell you what I said. She says something to me about, they were there in the room because they thought they were going to get a job 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's like, because they're hoes.
Have you lived? Have you seen like the way that women
Like, if
use
you
sex
don't
to
run
get...
out the room and go, excuse me, you don't talk to me you don't do that to me, excuse me, and leave. But you stayed around because you're like, well, I thought